Hello, friends. We're a little delayed this evening. It's been a day. Heather is still en route. So we're all just going to chat for a little while, which is absolutely fine by me. You know what? Which Susan said we were getting our drinks, and I should get a drink because I have something to celebrate. I'm very excited. Which those of you who follow me on my personal page, yeah, I'm just so excited. I was working. Well, today was the first day of classes. Hey, Stacey May, for my day job, and hello, Jennifer. Today was the first day of classes, which means my life was insane for the day job situation. Hey, Emily. But I got to go to the chiropractor this morning, so I'm in less pain than I was yesterday, which is always a good thing. And hey, Nancy. We're going to have to just chat for a little while until Heather gets here because she's coming. These things happen. How was your all's Monday? But when Heather gets here, I'm going to go grab some bubbly because I finally got notification. Are you ready? Are you ready for my big happy news? All of my federal student loans are paid. They're gone. They have been forgiven because I've been a public servant for over 10 years. I did a happy dance. I literally screamed when I opened that letter. So if my voice is scratchy, it's because I screamed. I was so excited. So very excited. And I don't even know what to do with myself. So, the party, the dance party made me a little bit late. So we're all just up in the air right now. I know. The cats were staring at me like I was an insane person. Hey, Mary. Yeah. Which, you know what we could do? If you're interested, I could take you to the Fancy Lady wall because my celebrating collections this evening is my Fancy Lady collection. And we could do that while we await Heather. Do you want a live Fancy Lady tour? We'll have to see how the internet holds up in the hallway. I can also show you my winter Valentine's mantle. Let me go ahead and get these together here. Okay. Here, let me unplug and I will move on to the collection, which I will show you the pictures and then I will give the kitties treats. You know what? My cats do like tricks when I give them treats. Mitzi is asleep right here. She will wake up as soon as I move. Hey, Beth. How's it going? I could give the kitties treats. They love them. They're treats that Sheila sent me. and the cats are obsessed with them. Let me add these slides so you can see the pictures, and then we'll go do the, oh, nope, that's last week's. Ignore that. Yeah, it's all a kerfuffle today. It's a kerfuffle. Okay. Cancel that. Oh, yeah, Beth can call me anytime. Let's see. Oh, Malcolm is here walking around. That's my, oh, I can show you the clock too. I'll just give you all a little tour. My house is mainly clean, thanks to the holidays. So let me add these slides. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick. My friend named my clock. So let me make myself big again. Okay, so the first part of the tour, you all know you're here in my living room. And this is where I spend most of my time. So there's Mitz. That's my chaise. And then my screen. This is my mantle. And I've adapted it a bit for Valentine's Day, which I'll have a short closing it. But there's the clock. She's so pretty. Huh. PayPal's been doing weird things. So then we go from the mantle to my storage, which is full of glass of all kinds. And then we've got some castle pictures. These are all castles I have visited in person. I mean, there's lots of space there. I need to go to more castles, obviously. But here's the couch. Oh, there's Christmas stuff. I'm starting to put it away finally. We're past the 6th. Oh, but do you want to know something fun I learned? In medieval times, they kept up Christmas decorations until Candlemas, which is February 2nd. So that means you can leave your decorations up until February 2nd, and you're just observing a historical process. So there's that. All right. We come over here on the other side. There's my Costa Rican carreta. And then this is my mid-level tiny thing shelf. They're like medium-sized things shelf. My tiny thing shelf will be going. So here's my big TV. It will be going right here. I have a printer's tray. That's in the basement. No, it's to Candlemas. It was on the British, what's it called? British Heritage Site. That's where I read about it. But I'm going to put a printer's tray right here with all my tiny things on it. And then y'all know, this is still a mess, but there's my bar cart. And then lots of fun barware there. But what I want to show you, going into the living room, here's my, this is my china cabinet. It's got a gnome on it still, because I still, oh, here's glowy cabinet. Glowy cabinet number 1. Glowy cabinet number 2 is over here. Glowy cabinet number 2. I can turn it on. Let's see. There's the uranium. The glow. It is a big TV. It's a big TV. All right, we're almost to the fancy ladies. Let me turn on the other glowy cabinet. I think my house is just over 1,800 square feet, but that includes the second floor. So it's a good size for me. My kitchen is there. We're not going in there. It's a nightmare. It's a little bit of a nightmare. But if you're in the dining room, you'll look through the hallway here and hear the fancy ladies. I'll walk backwards. I guarantee the cats will try to trip me if I'm not careful. So, get out of the way. There's the fancy ladies. And then we have the laundry room. Do. Turn on. Oh, you're in the bedroom. It's dark. It's dark in here. And then here's the other fancy ladies. And then I love the mirrors. Here's you all. Hi. And then there you are. I do believe Heather is here.
I am so sorry. Bad host. I was tardy.
What? So my chess game print is now back in the bedroom. And so for those, the Ciel de Lis now has a mirror in it.
Ooh, pretty.
I'm just giving everybody a little tour.
A little tour.
Since my house is mainly clean, and my celebrating collection is about my fancy lady wall, I just took them to the fancy lady wall.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm sorry. Yeah. I lost track of time. I got sucked into the world of a huge antique mall and was just not looking at my phone.
We've all been there. We have all been there. So there's a mini tour of the Bower. A 3-hour tour. I am at some point going to do an actual video tour when I feel up to it. I have so many video ideas, y'all, but it just takes time. So, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
You missed my big news.
I did? This is what happens.
I opened a letter today that told me all my federal student loans are gone.
Yay! That's wonderful news.
So while you're talking about one of your things, I'm gonna run and get some bubbly.
Talking about one of my things?
Yeah, one of your slides.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I just ran through the door. I didn't grab anything to share.
Good call, Stacey May.
I
unplugged to walk around. Oh, they're coming.
Okay.
But y'all just saw it in person. So this is the fancy lady wall. So we've talked about gallery walls so much, and I love that, I finally I have a couple now. I've got my trivet wall and I've got my fancy ladies.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah,
my
what's really cute is on one of my inspiring interiors. Did you get to look through my slides at all?
nope.
Okay. Okay, I'll wait. But just keep Angela's wall in mind when I go to one of my interior slides.
Okay. Oh, this was somebody else's collection, but I thought it was fantastic. Right?
Chairs.
Yeah, well, I think they're little mid-century chairs, and they're all by a specific maker, and I wrote it down, and I forgot where I wrote it down,
I love
but
those.
they're all very cool. I don't know if they were salesman samples or if they're doll furniture, but I just thought it was amazing. Look at that little egg chair.
I see it.
One little egg chair. It's
Um,
so
it's
adorable.
awesome.
But that is a very beige wall, very boring shelves, but you put a collection on it, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
Look at all those chairs on the top shelf.
Yeah, those bigger ones.
So cute.
Great.
Ooh.
So, let me. Ooh.
I don't have this collection.
I will be right back.
Okay.
Oh, you know who does have a Kokeshi doll collection?
Who?
Day Trip Vintage Julie.
Julie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, I really feel like, at least in the vintage community, the Kokeshi phenomenon really started to blow up when Jocelyn, the crazy lamp lady, started, I guess, just talking about them when she'd go out shopping and put them in her store. And I feel like there's a lot of different types out there. I really like the photo of these long, slender ones here on the left with the similar color palette. I thought was really nice. I mean, you could also just go multicolored. But they do have a really nice modern, it's like antique yet modern to me. What do you think of Kokeshi dolls, Angela?
I think they're cute. I
think they're cute too. I mean, I don't plan on collecting them for me, but I just thought
if I find some in the wild, I'd probably pick them up.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those that should be celebrated. I do understand the appeal,
So there's a theory that the Russian Matryoshka dolls evolved from Kokeshi dolls.
Really?
Yeah. Because Russia stretches all the way over.
Yeah.
So,
mm-hmm.
But that's where like the first form of them came from. But then the whole, nesting them inside of each other was a Russian thing. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely, and I thought these were great pictures too. If to show off a collection, the flat lay photo was nice.
Well, I love what they're laying on. Whatever
it's a Florentine tray.
It's beautifully painted.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're on to titillating tablescapes. Now this, I joined a these people are like professional tablescapers. They just they have like whole huge rooms devoted to keeping all their tableware in. But this one I had to bring to you because she'd been collecting King's Crown, as you can see. This is the earlier Tiffin King's Crown with the, ruby stain.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, well, it's going to be a king and queen's crown. So she decorated with actual crowns.
That's cute.
Throughout. And I don't know if you can see, but on the mantle, in order to display those tiaras and crowns, they're on turned over china. And like the ones in the back, it's a plate and a cup stacked upside
I
down.
see it. Yes, I see it.
So, and then the handle gave it a little resting place for the, somebody's calling me.
I did kind of a Valentine-y one too.
But yeah, no, I thought this was great, and I loved the gold with the king's crown, the ruby king's crown. You know, it just gave it a very pretty vibe.
Yeah, really pretty. So
Yours is soft.
yes, yes. I of course loved it because it had transfer wear.
It's the quilts.
The quilts. I know. I just, the whole setting, I know, along a lake with the quilts. It looked very romantic. And the photo on the bottom is not from this tablescape. I just saw it in a different table and I really liked it. It's a napkin rolled up to
like
be a
a rose.
rose.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought,
I love napkin folding.
I just thought take the rose idea and put it on the toll plates and it's perfect. Like I love the little rose too. So yeah, really nice, very feminine, but still I loved it.
All right. Next. Oh, so I had a rustic reborn this week, and you'll see why when we get there. But
this is cool.
I love the idea of turning, T10s into candles. And you can do that with any number of things you can turn into candles because it's not going to any way ruin or permanently mar, if you want to do it with vintage glass, if you want to do it with teacups, you can make anything that will hold a liquid into a candle. And then this little sorter caddy thing situation. And I do have a book specifically for napkin folding. I don't know if I have it. I don't know if it's made its way here yet. I feel like we should just do a napkin folding tutorial. I'd be okay with it. But I like the way they put a tin cup on top.
What did they use for the center of the three-tiered?
I think it's a wooden dowel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything specific. I think it's just a piece of wood, and then they're screwed together.
Mm-hmm.
My thing though is like, what do you do with the lids? This is good for something that you can do if you don't have lids.
If you don't have a lid.
Perfect. The tea ones, like they can be travel candles. You just blow them out, put the lid back on, and away you go. But also in the tin realm, this is an artist who I have a few pieces from. She is located in Pittsburgh, I believe. But she punches bits out of vintage tins and turns them into amazing jewelry. So you'll see, I think these all came from the same tin. She uses, food tins or tray tins, a variety, but I will put her website in the chat. She does special collections sometimes that sell out. Oh, yeah, you could do a lid gallery wall. Or you could take all the lids and mosaic a tabletop.
Mosaic a tabletop with the lid.
Yeah.
That's an idea.
Isn't it?
Yes.
You would need to flatten them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's doable. Because if you left them with the gap underneath, you'd accidentally punch through them or something.
Mm-hmm.
But here is her website. I have a really cool locust that she made out of tin necklace. So it's a very neat situation. I need another drink. It's a very neat upcycle. Okay. That's what I was trying to say.
I'd love to see people make things like this. Like, I want to see the process of how they do
If
it.
you follow her, she's on Instagram. If you do Saffron Creations, she does do like reels and
Really?
stuff. So if you want to see a video of what she's doing, put them on the bottoms, cut the lids with a hole, stack the lids, open the lids, they stick to the bottom of the one.
Wait. Magnets on the bottoms.
Oh, so that the tins stack and stick to each other. You may not need to cut a hole because the tin is very thin. If they're strong magnets.
To make the same idea of a tiered thing? Is that what she means?
I think so. Or so you could just have a stack of tins that are stuck together.
Stacy, yay! This is something I want to see on
You'll have to, yeah, you're the crafty lady, so you'll have to tell us as it is there. Like this? You'll have to fill us. You'll have to.
Okay.
Oh.
Now look at this. This is a painting done in 1880 by a Swedish artist. But look, it's like looking through the window of a Victorian parlor room. And in 1880, look at the maximalist design going on here.
Gallery walls. It's
look
happening.
At the gallery wall on the side. Immediately, I thought of your lady wall with the plates and the round and doesn't that look like your lady wall?
It does. And then the shelf underneath with the various crockery.
Yes. And the very rich fabric in front of pocket doors. I didn't really know they did this, where they have draperies hanging in front of the pocket doors. Obviously, this was in someone's home. I was just like, oh my God. So much
probably for like drafts or what have you. Because because if there's a room they're not using, pocket doors don't exactly seal.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to keep warmth in or, protect from, a colder room, then they would let that down.
That makes total sense. And look on the top of
but I want that curtain. Look at
I know the curtain is great.
I know.
And look, they put little busts and statues up on the molding on top. And I just thought it was very interesting.
I need molding over my doorway.
I didn't know that they were doing stuff like this back then. I was impressed. I said, wow.
I want to have tea in this room.
I know. It's just really cool because this house existed. What? 150? 40 years ago? Wow.
We're just, our taste was obviously just well established. Oh.
Yeah, then my next interiors choices were just things that I love and appreciate. So I've got needlepoint pillows and the exquisite brass and iron bed frame. Just beautiful. I really would like sometime in my lifetime to have a brass or iron bed frame like this. Maybe one day.
I like the one with the fabric. I have been like, when I can't sleep, which has been a lot recently, I'm on Facebook Marketplace like, okay, what is there an antique bed that speaks my name?
Mhm.
Because I want it. 'Cause you saw my CL delete. It needs a fancy bed under it,
It needs a headboard, yes.
but it needs to be a high bed so I can keep all my storage underneath of it.
Mhm.
I have to build it up.
Right. And you can do stuff like that, I think, with headboards.
Yeah, don't ask me about the order because my brain
That's
was
okay.
not working. So you're
All right.
gonna keep
That's
talking for a little bit.
well, this is
Homeworthy.
this isn't the newest one. This one is from 2 months ago. But I wanted to recommend this episode. It is of a Pennsylvania farm, and it was just I enjoyed it. So I thought you all would want to watch it as well. Just nice. It's she kind of goes through her journey of how she eventually got into that house, and the grounds are beautiful. So
So is Homeworthy the channel?
correct, Homeworthy is the channel,
Okay.
but I was recommending this particular
That
episode,
video specifically.
this video. Mhm.
Mm.
Because it's something I just recently watched this weekend. I haven't been able to watch a lot. My plan is next week, I'm going to give a review of the love letter. I'm going to do it.
Gotta do it. Okay. So my media must is a movie I just watched. It's délicieux. It's which means delicious. It's loosely based on a true-ish story about like the first restaurant that appeared just before the French Revolution. Though the first actual restaurant, I think, happened in Paris. But this explains like why it came about. Same kind of thing. So,
Wow.
but I love food. So I love watching food TV. I love watching movies about food. And this one you also get some awesome like interiors at some parts. You get, some great costumes. So if you like, late 1700s France, this is one for you. It is in French, so, subtitles, unless you speak French, might be a must.
The
But
art photography is
these,
beautiful.
I know these stills here, there's like in between, I would say like chapters of the story, they do these like, I would call it like a living still life of what the food that has been integral to the part of the story that they were just telling. And that's what the two above here are, like on the right, the top two. It's one of those like still wide frame shots of like a table with the food that they've been dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
So if you enjoy it, there's a little bit of a romance.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's just beautifully filmed.
It is beautifully filmed. And if you ever wanted to know why they chopped off all the heads of the bourgeoisie, this will give you a good idea of why that happened.
Oh wow!
So
Is this on Netflix?
I watched this on Amazon Prime.
Darn it!
I think it might be available streaming elsewhere as well. Let's see. Delicious. Oh, that's not where I need to search. It's from 2021, so it's not terribly old.
Well, I am getting hungry.
Oh, me
Just
too.
looking at this table.
I've been working on the can the chat see us? Can somebody? Nobody said anything for a few minutes. Are we still live?
Oh dear. It says
I know.
we're live.
Well, but my phone did a weird thing, so I was like, "Oh no, are we
Oh.
live?"
Oh, and
Oh,
are we?
it says
Okay.
yes, but we're just not getting the chat.
Oh, Jennifer. Thanks, Jennifer. She says we're good.
Great, perfect. Yeah, but my comments were just stuck.
Okay.
That's my sister. Or it's my niece on my sister's account.
Hmm.
We'll find out. And so that's the last of our regular. Are you ready? Are you ready for the history highlight? Because it
Oh,
went a
yeah.
place I was not expecting.
Oh,
I learned
a good
something
place,
new.
I'm guessing.
A very fun place. So for some reason, I'm stuck on tea. But indeed, I would rather have nothing but tea, Jane Austen. And this is something to remember. Oh, okay. So Jane Austen lived late 1700s, early 1800s. So keep that in mind as we go through this. And originally, when I was finding my collections or my Rustic Reborn, and I had all the, tea tins, I want to know more about tea tins, right?
Hmm.
But you can't talk about tea tins without talking about tea and when it came to the UK, which I thought tea was in the UK a lot earlier than it actually was. It was first served in 1657, so not until the 17th century. And then it didn't gain popularity until Catherine of Braganza married Charles II. And then the courtiers were introduced to it. And so, of course, they had to have tea at their place because the queen had it. And from the 1660s to the mid 1700s, it was really expensive. Like only the very, very wealthy could get it. You had to purchase it. I mean, it was highly taxed. You had to purchase it through apothecaries. You could drink it in coffee shops, snuff shops, and then special ladies shops. I want a special ladies shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Catering for ladies' needs. You could get it there. But as more importers and the British East India Company started, bringing more tea in, more and more wealthier people started to have tea. Like for comparison, in 1701, only 70 pounds of tea had been imported. And then by 1730, over 1,000,000 pounds. So it's a queenly drink. And then
Was
in the last
the
decade,
tradition?
it was 20 million pounds by the 1790s.
Uh-huh. I had a
So,
question.
yes.
Um, is is the tradition of the English afternoon tea, was that developed later, or was tea kind of always at that afternoon time?
Yeah, it was always actually it was a post-dinner drink
Okay.
before. And so, when Brits say we're going to have tea, they're talking about dinner. They're not
Oh,
and now like there's like have you had your tea yet? They're talking about the food. Have you eaten dinner?
oh,
Because they became so synonymous.
okay.
And then when we talk about, afternoon tea with all, the tiny sandwiches or whatever,
Yeah.
that's more of like the tea shops that exploded when the prices started to come down.
Oh,
But so, yes, more and more people, but then the wealthy people had it, but they needed to keep it safe. So then came the tea caddy. Do you know where the word caddy comes from?
they talked about that on my antiques road trip, and I don't know if I can remember, but
Well,
I
it comes
know
from a Malay
it's
word.
a Chinese word for like the weight or the
Yeah.
money or
The
something.
actual, so it comes from kati, Kati, I think is the spelling, which is a Malay word meaning weight.
Okay, yeah.
But in the Chinese measurements, a caddy of weight equals 1.25 pounds that we associate as pounds. And so tea was obviously sold by the caddy, and that just transitioned into the vessel that tea was kept into. But up until the early 1800s, because so for reference, the Boston Tea Party, that's 1773. So tea was really expensive and it made the king a lot of money. That's why they dumped it into the Boston Harbor.
They are giving the king the big old middle finger.
Yes. In 1784, William Pitt did the Commutation Act, which allowed the British East India Company to trade opium for tea. Because in India, they had access to a whole lot of opium, but not tea. And this like halved the price. And so more and more people could bring tea in. But up until around 1800, they were just called tea canisters. They were mainly made of porcelain. They were modeled after ginger jars, which we saw a lot of with the blue and white porcelain. But they were also brightly painted. They weren't just blue and white. There were a lot of Delft. This is actually a Delft tea canister that you can buy right now on Etsy for $150, but it is from that era.
Wow.
But once people started keeping it in their house, you know what rich people are afraid of?
Bugs?
Theft. By the help.
Oh.
Theft by the help. So, but so the Georgian era, which lasted for all King George's 1, 2, 3, 1714 and 1837, they were largely made of wood, and they locked because either the housekeeper or the lady of the house kept the key because they weren't gonna have somebody stealing their tea. And at one point, if somebody wanted tea, they would like go to an inn, like before it was readily available, and buy used tea leaves so that they could have like recycled tea because they couldn't afford normal tea. Yeah.
But that does make sense as to why you find those old oak tea caddy boxes with lock and key.
Mm-hmm. So they also often had like hidden panels inside that would keep the spoon, and so the inside of the wooden box were tins that held the tea and sealed for freshness. But there would also be a glass insert, and many people thought that tea was mixed in this because it was a container for black tea and a container for green tea. And they thought people were making their own blends. But sugar was also exorbitantly expensive at this point in time.
Okay.
So most likely those glass containers in the center were used for sugar. Hence the spoon. But these are ones that are available for sale. These are Georgian era tea caddies. This is a maple burl wood. It still has its tins and its spoon, which is pretty rare. The spoons very rarely come with them. And this one is mahogany. I couldn't tell if it had any. They didn't have any inside pictures, which means it probably doesn't have its compartments. But look at the price. My goodness.
Yeah.
Personally, I find the burl wood more interesting.
It is, but they don't make furniture in mahogany anymore.
No, mahogany is well, and it's hard to find maple burl wood because the process that caused those burls in maple only happened for certain periods of time. And maples don't live long enough now, but
Mhm.
that's another story. So here is a mahogany inlay. This one's on Etsy.
Ooh,
You can get that
oh,
one. This one
beautiful.
is later. It's a Regency era, but it still has its little containers, and it's only $127. So there is a variety. I'm not calling any of these cheap. They're all an investment. But now you know what to keep an eye out for, because somebody might be selling one of these as just a box. Hey,
Mhm.
Bridget. And it's not. It's a tea caddy, which adds to the value.
Especially, I bet if you have the key to the caddy.
Yes. Key to the caddy. And I really wonder where golf caddy comes from, because this is where my brain goes. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
all about the words. I'm like, ooh. And have I talked on the show about the word tea itself? Because that's a whole rabbit hole I can go down. I can make it very concise. So most of the world, there's only 2 words for tea outside of a few small places, because tea largely originated in China. And along the coast of China, their word for tea is chai. No, is tea. In inland, the word is chai. So if
Oh,
you discover tea via the ocean, you call it tea. In Russia, the word for tea is chai,
oh,
because it went there via the Silk Road. So
uh-huh.
tea if by sea, chai if by land. That's the quick
Chai if I land.
chai if by land. And then of course we talk about, chai tea, which is technically tea. So when but when Americans talk about chai, they're talking about the Indian influence of tea, which they call it chai because they're right next to China. So they learned about tea over land. So the
Makes
spices and
sense.
stuff for actual like chai that we call chai these days comes from India. But that's I'm a language nerd, y'all. So I had to share that part. Anyway, this is what I found out that I did not know about. So in the Georgian times, ladies be sitting at home doing nothing because women weren't allowed to do anything, and they couldn't go out on hunts or what have you. So they would have these carcasses, which are, wooden tea caddies that were plain. They had panels inset. And then, do you know what paper quilling is? Which is a
No.
craft people do. You roll paper really finely to make designs, like really tightly.
Oh, yeah, on the side, so the paper edge makes
Yes,
the
yes,
pattern? Yes,
yes.
yes, I do know.
So they would get, this is like early, craft kit period. So they were bored, they ordered a kit, and they sat down and made these
Oh,
rolled paper decorated tea caddies. Look,
wow. It almost looks like pyrography.
yeah, but those are tiny pieces of paper that are rolled up very tightly, and sometimes gilded paper, and then glued into those recessed sides. This one is
Wow.
for sale for almost $2,800. Here
Wow.
are some more views of it. Like this
Oh,
one has another a picture on the front. I believe they said this one was made by a prisoner of war. Like, it's like, you know,
my goodness. How many
they'll make money off them somehow, right?
Wow.
And
Wow.
then here's a closer look at the lid.
Oh my god. The
I
detail is insane.
Oh, this rabbit hole. I was looking at pictures of these for Beth. She's like, her birthday's coming up. So keep an eye out. Like You could stumble across one of these and somebody just be like, "Oh, it's just a decorated box." You're like, "No, that is a Georgian paper quilt tea caddy. I can
Dang.
retire."
Or at least go on a fun trip.
A fun trip to go find more Georgian paper quilt tea caddy. This is another one. This one is listed for 3,800. I like the way the light was on this because you can see the quilling effect of the paper. So
Yes.
it's pretty sturdy. So it was kind of like lacquered over. Like they used a whole lot of glue, and the rest of it is wood. So the base of it's wood.
Wow. It
This
almost
one,
looks like silver wire work.
yeah.
The jewelry with that does the silver wire work.
Hmm.
Or lace. It looks like lace.
I mean, so you can imagine they had a lot of time on their hands.
Wow.
And then I had to throw this one in too because look at the collar. It wasn't
Ooh,
all
yeah.
just plain. And then there would be I want to say that that image may be on ivory, but it looks like bits of this are missing. So,
Mhm.
but still, look at the price.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one definitely has lost a lot of the
Well,
design, you can tell.
yeah, no internet and needlepoint unless you were very wealthy and came from a forward-thinking family and you're a woman, you weren't going to be taught to read. So,
Mhm.
had to fill your time somehow. But this was my favorite discovery of this history highlight. I was like, I did not know
Yes,
this was a thing. But it
I
made me
know.
think of like the shell things that you did at one
Shells.
time. Yeah.
It completely. I was thinking the same thing. It's fascinating. I mean, the amount of time they had on their hands to make such detailed creations.
Well, yeah, and remember, no electricity, so only during daylight hours.
Mhm.
Because I don't think you can do this by fire or candlelight. That would require bright sunshine.
Mhm.
Um, Also, later on, 1800s, tortoiseshell caddies became popular. There's a lot of faux tortoiseshell caddies available, but the actual tortoiseshell ones are extremely pricey and hard to come across. Sorry, Stacey May. So again, they had a carcass and they just it was covered with gesso because the tortoiseshell is so thin. If they didn't coat the wood in some way, the grain would shine through the tortoiseshell. Um,
Oh, mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
And then also, ivory, brass, silver, mother of pearl, and then most of them had, the ring at the top to open it. And then so
Oh,
here are actual tortoiseshell ones that are for
wow.
sale. And you see this one has, the two compartments.
Mhm.
This one is pretty small. I mean, I don't think that's very big, that oval one there. But it's time to wind my clock again because it's getting real fast. It picked up an extra minute. So there's a tortoiseshell. I loved this one. This is from the 1770s. It's an enamel box.
Wow.
And look at the tins inside and the little handles. I want to know how big this is. Like I can't think scale because sometimes these caddies are
Yeah,
sizable. But look at
right.
this. If y'all come across this one, remember me.
Wow.
So
Is
gorgeous.
this one Italian or no?
No, I think it's British,
Oh,
but I
wow.
look at the painting on it. Like,
Yes.
I wish I knew what the lid looked like. This is the only picture of it I found, but it's from the 1770s. Here is a mother of pearl one,
Mhm.
and this one is currently for sale. Yeah, I want to find.
Yes, Michelle.
I want to just find that in someone's closet. Uh, but this one is 5,500. Um, so this one I thought was adorable. So one of the most rare wooden tea caddies are in the shape of fruit. Most often apples or pears, and they would come in a set of 2. And
Those are
this one is available on Etsy for $505. But it has its
it's
look at its
cute.
tiny key.
That's adorable.
Now you can imagine, like, well, first of all, it's not very big. So
Mhm.
I feel like somebody was just gonna put that apple in their pocket.
Oh.
It feels dangerous. Unless the apple and the fruit had its own case, which is possible. Who knows? Then came the Industrial Revolution, changed the way germ theory is happening. People are like, oh, we can't just keep stuff we eat in wood. And prepackaged products were happened. 1875 is when, the machines that could fold and press tin. Shortly after 1875, lithography came into effect and started decorating the tea tins. And we're finally at the thing that actually sparked this whole idea, which was tea tins.
Yes.
They had to be bright, something. And then because it was a useful thing, we still have so many in existence because one, they used it, they would refill it with tea because you could go and buy it in bulk or
Bulk.
loose leaf, and then you would take it home in your paper and then put it in your personal tea caddy or tin.
Mhm.
And so this is probably some of the earliest tea tins around
I
because
love
like
those.
I said, like 1875 is when the bulk production of tins really got rolling. So these are from the 1860s, the pair, and they're like 17 inches tall. These aren't little. These are
Ooh,
big tins.
that big.
Yeah, over a foot. But look at the follies. Like, look at the pictures on there.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah, you can purchase those.
Those are
And I
good.
was going to run upstairs because I use tins as my storage for various things. I
Mhm.
do have one. Let me right over here that I keep all my antique postcards in.
I don't know, and I go to antique stores fairly often. I'm not sure if I've come across an antique large tea tin. Do you guys see them a lot where you live? I would love to find
Not
one of
that
those.
size.
Like that bigger size. Yeah, that's why I was interested. Like
So
big
this,
size.
this is one of my most unique tins, and I actually got this from Daniel, tacky as me. Let's see. So it looks like a book.
Oh, cute.
So it says History of China, and then it's got just different scenery. The litho on the front is pretty rough. Then there's the back.
Oh, wow. Uh-huh.
I do not know how old this is. I haven't done any research on it. Daniel had it and I knew I needed it. So I'm guessing WG&B is the company that made the tea or imported the tea.
Mhm.
And now I want to do more research on it. But it is a little tricky to open. Like, oh, there we go. It's because it's got this little latchy situation. But then all my antique postcards live in there when they're not being
Adorable.
displayed on my mantle. I did that so I would have like a space limit on how many postcards I'm allowed to have.
Mhm. This is
We'll
the
see,
postcard box.
we'll see
This
how that works out. But
I think it's a really good rule of thumb, though, to try to keep collections in a manageable
yeah, I'm
allotment.
trying. I'm trying. um, so that's the history of tea caddies. With some linguistic tangents thrown in. But do you have a favorite thing to share today?
I did not grab one.
Okay. I
Uh,
showed this on my live yesterday, but I got these. A pair of these
yes.
at a little local shop that's closing. So I was gonna put them up on my Valentine mantle, but they weren't quite the right fit. So you need to listen to that. Well, basically, I just pick something because it's like my glowy glass. Like I have those two cabinets, and then I need to stop.
Mm-hmm.
But I can switch out the glowy glass. Like if I find something that's more usable or more me. It's called Kelly and Company. It's a little vintage shop but they were only open on weekends, and it was hard to get there. So, let me bring you back up. I did my quote at the beginning of the history highlight, so I don't have anything
Okay,
fun for
that's
us
all right.
to end with.
I took down my Christmas.
Oh,
Well, I left my crystal tree
the
up
trees.
there,
The trees are just winter.
and I left my craft project and added a rose at the top of each one. I don't know if you guys can tell, but
Oh man,
it looks
Emily.
a lot plainer without the little
Oh, okay. Actually,
evergreens on there.
my absolute favorite uranium glass piece does not fit in my glowy cabinet.
Favorite uranium. I don't have uranium. Well, technically I do, but
So, as you know, I live in West Virginia, so I like collecting West Virginia glass. This swung vase was made by Fenton somewhere between 1907 and 1911. Of course, I say it was made in 1910. But, it's the green and it's got opalescence. Now, when it was first made, it was called Foggy Bayou was the name. And then they just called it, I guess they didn't like that name, and they changed it to Reverse Drape. So it is this. Are we ready? No, no, no. No, 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 no. Da, da, da. This way.
oh, Angela, you know what? I can go get that piece of glass that I won from Harper's Things.
It's
I'll,
amazing.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Foggy Bayou. I know. I mean, who would want to change that name? I also like it because, Bayou are found in Louisiana. My dad went to veterinary school at LSU. So there's lots of personal ties to this swung vase. So this one's my favorite. My second favorite is probably one of my oldest pieces of glass. It's from the 1880s. It's a celery vase from the Adams Company, but it looks like it was made in the 60s. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Well, so on Whatnot, I happened to be on Jay, her
Harper's Things.
Harper's Things is her YouTube, but I happened to win a giveaway, and it was this antique glass basket. And there is uranium in it. It doesn't glow like Angela's vase, but you can see.
Oh, you can see it.
Yeah. So this is.
Doesn't it have thorns on the handle?
Yes. I don't know if you guys can see.
I don't teach, Susan. I'm an administrator.
Yeah, there's little thorns. So yeah, this is well over 100 years old, which is kind of shocking. Like it's hard. I mean, with the ruffle, I almost think, oh, that could be mid-century Fenton. I don't know, but apparently,
yeah, I have an 1800s actual Burmese basket.
Mhm.
And it's British. And their Burmese was not satinized like the Fenton Burmese was. So
Mhm.
it's nice and shiny. And it
Yeah, I
glows
have
like
to keep
nobody's
telling
business.
myself, "You're not supposed to hold the glass baskets by their handle." Because I don't handle a lot of glass, someone like me can forget that particular tidbit of info.
Yeah. But well, I hope y'all found the caddy discussion as interesting as I found it. Like, I could have added so many more pictures. Like, if you need to kill some time, just look for like paper quill tea caddies. Like, there are some really, really fun ones to look at.
Never seen anything like it. I mean, I
Oh,
didn't have any clue that those existed.
well, it's funny because I've always like wanted to learn how to do paper quilling.
Mhm.
And there are people at some of the craft shows that I sell at that do like big, um, really pretty paper quilt designs, and I was like, man, where did that come from? War Georgian ladies. It probably came from somewhere else. They probably stole it from someone, but
Mhm.
there's that. So thanks so much, everyone, for coming.
Yeah,
And
I'm sorry I was late, guys. I feel so bad.
it's okay. They got to be nebby noses in my house, so it's all good.
Aw.
Yeah. Beth was close to me, but that was when we had the crazy weather hit, so she couldn't stop by. But have
Aw.
a fantastic week, everyone.
Oh,
And
yes.
don't forget to use the pretty things and just have a great evening. Mary got her photo album.
Oh, good. Yay, Mary.
Bye, everybody. See
Oh,
you
good
next
night.
week.
Bye, guys. See you next Monday.
It'll be on Heather's channel, so if you haven't followed her, do so. Sorry, Stacy.